Okay, good afternoon and welcome to the August Historic Preservation Commission meeting. Katie is not here, so everybody bear with me. I feel a little out of my depth. I'm Sarah Jordan and I'm the chair of the Historic Preservation Commission. As usual, we have a full agenda and it's my goal to get everyone out of here early, so be thorough but mindful. As a reminder, please limit individual conversations during the meeting. This ensures commission members and applicants can hear one another. Please remain quiet until you're called upon, and when you speak at the podium, please state your name and your address for the record. Before the commission votes on each item, I will ask if any members of the public wish to speak. Speakers are given 3 minutes. Ooh, I think it's actually 5 minutes. We're batch 3. 3 minutes to relay information to commission members. The agenda and documents for today's meeting are located on the PrimeGov website. If you're following along, select agenda on the right side of the Historic Preservation Commission meeting to see the items being discussed. Written comments received more than 24 hours before today's meeting are posted online and were shared with the commission members. At this point, new materials may not be shared with the commission. If you brought anything with you, please keep it at your seat. Okay, roll call.
Jordan.
Present.
Gaines.
Present.
Hoare.
Present.
Ramey.
Present.
Whitley.
Present.
Wood. We have quorum.
Okay, thank you. Procedures for today's meeting are noted in the agenda. For the sake of time, we ask anyone who is unfamiliar with the process to please refer to the procedures section. There are 2 items we'd like to note specifically regarding the meeting process, and these involve certificates of appropriateness and appeals. Regarding certificates of appropriateness, after an application is approved and the 10-day protest period has expired, the Historic Preservation Officer will mail the certificate of appropriateness to the applicant. City construction permits cannot be issued until the CA is issued. Please contact HP staff for final review or to withdraw items that may not be completed. Regarding an appeal to the Board of Adjustments, any person aggrieved by a decision granting or denying a CA may appeal to the Oklahoma City Board of Adjustments. All appeals shall be made within 10 days of the commission decision by filing a written notice of appeal with the clerk of the Board of Adjustments. Angela, any news from the Office of the Historic Preservation Officer or anything that needs to be moved? Okay. Meeting minutes. I was not here in July, but if you all have had a chance to review the minutes, do we have any questions or a motion to accept or modify?
I will make a motion to approve the July minutes.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay.
There are no code enforcement staff here, but if you have any questions about anything you see on the report, feel free to contact staff. We have no continuance announcements.
Okay. Those meeting minutes were approved. Moving on to anything on the public hearing section, Angela? For dilapidated structures or National Register nominations?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. We do have 2 items on the consent docket, so if you all have any questions, feel free to ask them. And if not, maybe we can move those along.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent docket.
Second.
Okay. You should be able to vote in PrimeGov.
Keith, my computer's not working, so you'll have to just.
At all.
Yes.
Do you need to move to another seat?
Apparently I was already kicked off.
They had actually removed him already, and I just added him back in there, so.
Okay.
it worked.
If you were on the consent docket, congratulations, your project is approved and you have the option to stick around for the remainder of the meeting or go ahead and head out. Moving on to cases for individual consideration. First up, we have HPCA 26-00018 at 1529 Northwest 37th Street. Okay, would y'all state your names and addresses for the record, please?
Yes, Hong Ji Chen, stay at 1529 Northwest 37th Street.
And I'm William Howard Hart Jr., and I'm at 1537 Northwest 37th Street.
Okay,
I'm his neighbor.
thank you. We have already seen this one a couple of times, and they've brought some changes back this time. So commission members, anybody have an immediate starting place with this? Any questions? I'm hoping perhaps two of the architects sitting up here have some thoughts or feedback on the proposed solution.
Sorry.
So we had a problem last time that the concrete was going right up abutting to the brick,
Yes, sir.
not allowing for any relief for that pressure or drainage. So your proposal is to cut, just to cut a line down there to allow for that?
Yeah, that was our initial proposal, but if that's not proper, please give us guidance so we can make it work. What we want to do is to expedite the process to get it so everything is happy.
Okay, well, when we talked at the last time when you were here, a part of that problem was that abutting up to the house.
Okay.
So it was our understanding that there was going to be, that was going to be removed from that area up against the house, and that's not what the proposal is now.
I misunderstood what you all were recommending. I thought that we can get it cut so we have like a good gap between the house and the driveway. Yes, sir.
For like an expansion?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, I didn't know. David, is that possible to provide any relief for that?
So the issue
Lynn.
with the driveway being right up to the brick, outside of it not being in the guidelines, is that when you pour the concrete up against it, what's going to happen is it's going to shift and move and crack, and the concrete is going to pull away from the face of the brick, and you're going to have water that gets down in there, and that water is either going to go into the basement or it's going to get into the brick and cause deterioration. So that's why in all these historic houses there's usually like a 8 to 12 inch strip of grass that runs, congruent with the house. So when it rains and there's water, it can drain and get out. But with the concrete being right up against the house, it doesn't allow for that. So it will likely just cause further damage to the brick and to the house.
So what we need to do is cut it away from the house 8 to 12 inches,
Somewhere around there, yeah.
and then fill in that area with some soil or
Yes.
gravel or,
Yeah, any kind of, impervious surface.
Okay.
So whether that's grass or ground cover,
Something that drains.
something that drains, and, you may need some kind of French drain or something along the house to, kick that water out, so you don't have that hydrostatic pressure up against your basement walls or foundation. But yes, we need it off the face of the brick.
that's definitely something that we can get done.
Okay. So we will need to do a continuance again while you work. Do we have any, we don't have any more, do we? Okay.
Can we approve it with an agreed upon condition that they bring that back to you guys? Okay.
Okay.
Are you still addressing the width of the driveway?
Did anything change on the width of the driveway?
No, I just went and measured all the other driveways in the neighborhood, and there were several that are wider. And I mean, my driveway's next to it's the 9-foot one, and there's one on the corner that's like, 2 houses to the east and across the street that's like 16 foot wide on one part of the circle and 11 or 12 foot wide on the other part of the circle. And about half the driveways on the block are wider than that one, but they've all been there for quite a while.
And what is your current width?
It's 11 foot 9 inches, I believe.
11.9, okay.
Yeah, the challenge is, if you were to come with an unconstructed project, we would tell you to build it according to the guidelines and regulations without a special circumstance. So I don't know that you've made the case for a special circumstance.
And in this instance, you're going to have to cut the driveway already. You're going to have to cut it back.
So you want us to cut 1 foot 9 inches off of it, so it falls within the 10-foot guideline?
Yes.
So if he cuts if he's cutting the driveway back 9 inches along the house, if he were to do that all the way to the curb cut, or at least to the top of the sidewalk, that's an 11-foot driveway, which is far less offensive than creeping up on a 12-foot driveway.
Yeah.
I would probably feel comfortable just making that cut all the way down and trying to get to an approval on an 11-foot driveway.
The issue is
Our
going to
unique
be,
circumstance.
Pardon me?
What would be our unique circumstance?
I don't know yet.
the issue, well, I don't think saw cutting the edge and cutting a foot off or whatever that dimension is that big of a deal. The thing that's the big deal is your curb cut at the street. That's the challenging part. The driveway is not that big of a deal. It's the curb cut.
So would our ask be for a 9-inch cut near the house and a removal of the, a re-pour of the current curb cut at a narrower width?
Yeah, I mean,
To the sidewalk.
candidly, I want to try to find a path forward for you
Right.
to leave it.
I agree.
I do. The problem is our hands are tied because I don't see a unique circumstance. And it does fall outside the guidelines.
The fact that there are so many other driveways in the block that are wider than that doesn't,
Well, your report doesn't have any wider, except maybe one, right?
I thought that I sent several photographs of the other driveways that were wider with their dimensions in it and stuff.
Wider than 10 feet, but not wider than
Right,
that.
there are several in here, I agree, that are wider than 10 feet, but not wider than 11 feet 9 inches.
Yeah, I can
There is an 11.3.
But we also don't know when those were done or if they came and got a CA for it.
No, we don't.
Yeah, no, those driveways look pretty old.
Got to peel it.
So what do we need to do to make this right?
Well, I'm going to need my mind refreshed here. If we deny without prejudice, how long do they have to reapply?
If
How long do
we-
they have to wait?
If we deny without prejudice, they can come back at any time with the same proposal or an alternative proposal. If we deny with prejudice, they can come back at any time, but the proposal must change.
Okay.
Or if we denied, they could appeal it to the Board of Adjustment.
They could appeal to the Board of Adjustment, yes.
At this point, in my opinion, I don't see anywhere where we get past. I think we know that they can't come back to us with the same proposal. So as to item 1, I believe that should be, my motion would be to deny that item with prejudice at this point, and then ask them to come back with another, with a different proposal than what is currently in front of us.
And Angela, just refresh me, components of this application could be the same if they come back, even if we deny with prejudice. It could still be the same width, but the cutaway at the house versus the channel, that if that changes, then that satisfies that requirement, correct?
If anything about the proposal changes,
Okay.
they could in fact come back.
Okay, so do you understand what we're saying about if we deny it and you come back and you've made changes to your application, you have 3 more strikes, basically? So really, we're trying to buy you time to come up with the right solution. We,
I appreciate
Joe
it.
David, want to make this work for you, but I think we're out of time today.
I appreciate your leniency and your working with me, but do we need to do anything with like cutting back the access from the street?
I wouldn't do anything until we get to an approved solution.
Okay.
I would just,
So
I
make
think,
a-
you know, we need a little more work put into this one.
So
And
make
to-
a proposal about cutting it away from the house and come back.
Yeah.
To be clear, if you wanted an approval of this, and we could defer to staff on this, if you were to cut the driveway away from the house some dimension to protect the brick and to defend against moisture infiltration, if you were to saw cut the driveway, take out the entire apron or curb cut and redo the curb cut within 10 feet, that is probably something we could approve today with those conditions met with staff. If you're not willing to cut all that out, what we need is a proposal with you making the case for a unique circumstance that would allow us to approve that as it sits. So those are kind of the two paths
Okay.
that I see.
Do you understand what they're
Yeah,
saying?
they say they come with us to see it.
They say that either, like if we want an approval today, we to agree to cut away the curb going up and bring that down to like the 10 foot and then cut it away from the side of the house. And that gives us clear guidance of what we need to do. Or we could make we could come back to another meeting and talk about, like, draw the plan for what we want to do there and kind of re-meet with them.
How about, we draw together?
David,
Okay.
is there the potential to cut the apron in some specific location that's appropriate and take out only one side of it and report?
You could, you're gonna have a joint, which is an aesthetic thing. There's nothing in the guide that states you can't have that or couldn't have that. It's just if they're okay with
Don't do anything yet, we need to.
a cold joint running vertically, it's not common, but it's not a problem either.
So do you want us to deny it and allow you to
I
come
believe
back
that's the
then?
path that we need to go on, have a denial, and then we'll come back.
I
with
think
a
so too. It gives
Okay.
you time to think about
proper
it.
proposal.
Any members of the public wish to speak or contribute to this? Okay, there being none, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve items 2 and 3 of HPCA-26-00018 with the specific findings as stated in the staff report.
Second.
So we said,
We haven't done that one
Approve
yet.
items
Oh,
2
sorry,
and 3.
okay. Okay.
Okay.
That gave me a little panic. Okay,
All right?
those have been approved.
And then I'll make a motion to deny item 1 with prejudice of HPCA-26-00018.
Okay, do we have a second? Great. So many seconds.
I would encourage you guys to keep working with staff and get with them with your next proposal.
Thank you, I appreciate
Thank you, and thank
Thank
you
you,
for
guys.
being agreeable.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to HPCA 26-00062 at 500 Northwest 17th Street in Mesta Park.
Hello, Fallon Brooks Magnus, Jolly Bird Design, 11 Northeast 11th Street, representing the applicant.
I thought you moved.
Welcome back.
You not moved to Chicago?
I did move to Chicago.
And here you are. Okay.
I can't stay away from OKC. I love it here.
Not on the first Wednesday of every month. Okay. We have already seen this one, and it is back again. You want to give everybody a little refresher since there's kind of, I think, a lot going on here?
Yeah, so all that concrete you see on that side is being removed, and we last time
You
didn't.
say on that side. you
I'm
mean
sorry,
north.
on the image, it would be the right side, which would be
Okay.
the north side of the lot, north of the garage. Anything between the fence and the sidewalk is going away, and then we're narrowing this apron to 16 feet and centering it on the door, and then we've proposed widening some of the paving that's on the drawing you can see that was updated. And then all the way down to where that little stair is at the far end, next to the tree, there's a little drive apron there that's going away. And then the stairs will get fixed, and we'll have some green grass here on the other side of the sidewalk. So we continued this last month because we weren't sure what needed to happen with the alley. And so we're proposing that the paving just goes right up to the fence as it is on the drawing. And that's pretty much it. You have to look at the site.
So this is 24 feet wide currently,
Yes.
and it is all going to the south, all the added concrete, or it's going to widen to the south?
I mean, other than if you look at the drawing, there's a little bit of paving for like where there's a gate where the fence is, so there's some paving there. There's some paving that getting replaced up in front of the stairs. So there is some paving going in on the other side of the sidewalk, but it's not to this extent.
Talk to us about the electrical box. How are you clear of that? I mean, it doesn't look like it's 10 feet away from the edge of that apron.
Well, that apron is moving.
So the apron,
So that
how close will you be to that, I guess, is our
You'd have to
question.
look at the plan that's
I'm
provided.
The plan shows it.
We basically
Sorry.
just kind of cut at an angle and
I've
kind of go past
it.
it a little bit.
What page?
And that is for paved access to the gate through the yard?
Part of it is for access to that, but we're losing, this is all currently off-street parking.
Good.
So we're just trying to find a place to squeeze another vehicle to keep it off the street. And so that's what they proposed, was running that right up to the fence. They are still working on getting the alley vacated. So I'm unsure at this point what to do about that portion of the paving. I'd kind of like to hear commissioners' feedback on it and go from there.
On which part?
The paving that goes up near the electrical box
Yeah.
Okay. But
seems
it's,
to be the point of contention.
So you want to go from where the apron is right now up and then cut it over like that. Are you wanting to have a car? built
There's
over there?
in what you guys were given, there's a plan that shows the paving. This is the problem I ran into last month, was trying to describe it, and it's just look at the plan.
Sorry,
Yeah, no,
my
we're
computer's dead, so I have to look
he
at it.
doesn't have a screen at all.
Oh, he doesn't? Okay.
So we are looking at it.
Patrick, get
I mean, it
together.
is in front of us, but
It's confusing, probably.
it's not confusing necessarily. I just am trying to make sure I'm understanding like accurate dimensions. I guess it is a little confusing if you've not seen that house in person as many times as I have, but there's a lot of concrete.
And I tried to clarify it.
The house is single family,
Yes,
and is that a garage apartment?
it is a guest suite. As was approved by the commission.
Yes, okay.
I will say it is actually being used for what we said it would be used for when we built it, which was college-age kids returning. Now those college-age kids are getting married and having families, and that is what it will continue to be used for.
So what's the motivation for these changes?
Do you see all the paving there? It's hideous.
Well, right, but I mean, I don't know if it have ever approved a driveway that wide. So like, what's the motivation?
Well, the motivation is to
Yeah, I
get
definitely understand the
this-
motivation for getting rid of the concrete that's there.
Yeah, so then I don't understand the question, because
I mean-
that,
It's
the
abnormally
motivation is
large.
that
I mean, I'm just
it's a lot of
curious.
paving.
Yeah.
And it looks terrible, and they would rather have like some nice landscaping and
No, what's the
sod and-
motivation for the new portion, not the removal?
to
Like that it's
to
that
put
it's
back,
exceeding
so
the
to have as much of a driveway as possible without making it egregious. We would like to keep whoever is staying upstairs, we would like for them to be able to park their car a little bit off the street. And since we're eliminating all of this concrete to the north, that's really what that is. It's just to get another car to squeeze it in. It's not even really like a full legal parking space. It is, but if we're eliminating this, I don't know if you've seen Walker, you can't park there. Where do you now put that car? So we're trying to keep a car off the street.
Well, they live on the corner, so in theory you'd put it on 17th.
So
Sure, there's a lot of cars parked on 17th though, so we're just trying to avoid another car parked on the street.
Yeah, I personally feel like if you are pouring that for a car that's gonna get put there sometimes maybe when people come to visit, I don't know if, for me, that's a good enough reason to extend that. And especially with the angle, it's just, I don't know, not something that we typically approve. I mean, I really appreciate, removing all that concrete and bringing down our curb cut to 16 from, 20 or whatever it was. But to me, that just looks like another spot that's gonna block the sidewalk. But I would love to hear from other commissioners.
So, I mean, to me, you're improving the streetscape and improving the appearance of the public way there. My only question really is, you're trading off this gigantic circular side drive and requesting one additional space basically to the left, but that's outside of the property line. So to me, that's the rub. I buy the unique circumstance of you're reducing the impervious surface area, you're improving, all that, all in great ideas. I don't know the legality of, can you improve not your property or your personal use?
Which is why we are in the process of vacating the alley. And if it were the case, we would get a revocable permit, which is part of this application, is a recommendation for that revocable.
And your 9'8" is on your half of the
Yes.
potential, so you're not encroaching into your neighbor's
No.
half if that were to be
No.
vacated?
And you can see where the fence is
Sure.
dividing it in half right now. Sorry.
Which isn't always on.
It's true. But just visually, it's in the middle.
Which is also a kind of a city permitting purview, all that. But in terms of the historic character of the neighborhood, I see this as an improvement. I don't see any objections or reason to object from that perspective.
And so if you expanded the concrete to the pedestrian door, like made it to where the apron already is right there, that wouldn't give you enough room to have the cars you want. Because I too am in favor of getting rid of all that concrete if we can find a substitute.
Sure.
Or you're not going to get rid of the concrete.
We could cut the paving just right at the edge of the garage. It'll provide, currently there's 2 little blocks there instead of concrete, so it needs to happen anyway. It just will make it where you can't park a vehicle there. I don't know how to advocate for it. Because personally, what?
It seems to me like if you do the little jog of concrete in front of the electrical box, it's going to look like basically you put a little pad on your lawn to park a car. Visually, that's what it'll
Sure.
look.
Can we require landscaping? Can we do anything can we do like permeable paving, or not even paving, gravel? That would look terrible.
So if, this is just for my knowledge, the garage will hold 2 cars, correct?
Yes.
And if all the concrete is removed, that will hold 2 cars in the driveway area, and you're just wanting a spot for a 5th car. If there's 4 cars there, this would be a 5th car spot.
No, there's currently 2 cars that park in that garage daily. And they come in and out of that garage daily. They are not gonna park tandem there. They're just not. So that driveway is for them to come in and out of.
No, that answers it. Because so they could put a car there and back out like I do, so that a car in the garage can back out and then pull their car back in. So that's a no-go for me.
Currently, there's all of this parking, and we're asking for one small little piece. I can tell you, it maybe doesn't fit the guidelines, but from a logical perspective, it's going to look better. We're improving it. Other than giving me a suggestion on where you think it should be cut off, I don't have anything else
I
to say about
definitely
it at
think
this
it
point.
will look better. I think you're right that the problem is it still won't look good. And I think we're being given an opportunity right now to remedy something on a really exposed corner on a heavily trafficked street. And it's, it's a pretty modest house, and it's like an extravagant amount of concrete and parking for a modest house when we do have, yeah, I get it, there's cars on 17th Street, there's also cars on 15th Street, and I'm out there playing the little car ballet situation with my teenager every morning. I get it, it sucks, but I just don't see that that's any sort of unique circumstance worthy of saying, hey, let's go ahead and give them additional concrete and go through this process of vacating the alley.
I just don't understand why. It seems like such a logical, we're removing a lot of concrete, we're improving the condition. Why does it matter?
Well, we get a lot of those where somebody wants to undo old damage, and that's great. I wasn't here in 2016 when that driveway was approved, and I have so many questions for who was. But, we're being given an opportunity to make it better, not just like to really nail it. And
Sure.
I feel like that's not nailing it. That's just creating another situation where the people sitting up here in 2036 are going, that's weird, how did that ever get approved? That's so much concrete. And I feel like they're gonna look at it like I'm looking at this 2016 approval.
It would be one thing even if it was one of those garages that was like 10 feet from the street and there was no way to park in the driveway without a sidewalk. That would be a unique circumstance for me. But you have 4 dedicated parking spots off street right now for a single family home, and this is an urban area, and I don't think we need a 5th, personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of the nature of living in the neighborhood. Some houses are very fortunate to have a lot of great off-street parking, but I mean, nobody thought this house was, gonna have, you would never buy this house presuming that you're gonna have a big driveway back there in the alley.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I think you've got, the unique circumstances that you have a ton of paving there that you're improving. So, just trying to help think of your options, and again, not trying to design it, but, you could propose to keep a portion of the pad to the south and demolish exactly where that car is parked. Cut a line, demolish everything north of that. That gets you your pad, you've still improved it. You're not dealing with the right-of-way property line issue. And the other option is if you did have access to that vacancy, even pushing the parking to the, behind the garage. I don't know what's in the yard in that 10-foot little space, but that's something you could consider.
So just to be clear, we would add paving along the side of the garage to then park behind the garage. That's way more concrete. I don't understand.
No, I'm trying to get the,
That's
no,
not
I'm
what
just coming up
I'm
with,
just confused.
I was trying to get the car
I see.
out of the public right away.
Yeah.
But I think you could come back with the same proposal and limit your concrete demolition on the north.
I do agree with
Get
that.
what you want.
I don't think it would look the best, but I think we would never,
I don't think that that's the best looking solution.
but we wouldn't deny just simply remediating concrete. That's how you get it and get around the guidelines in this situation, because we wouldn't deny taking up the concrete and landscaping right there. You could do something really pretty with some, just with some landscaping right there to kind of shield that from street view.
Is that really, are they 20 feet separated? That picture that was just on looked like it was a gunshot. I guess so.
The 2 garages?
Yeah, there's 20 feet in between them.
Anybody else? Any members of the public wish to speak on this one?
How many continuances do we have left? Because I'm tired of having this conversation. We have one more? Then just continue it and I'll talk to my client and we'll come back one more time.
Do you want the items that they've recommended approved? 1, 4, 5, and 6 have been recommended for approval?
No, he wants it as all one package.
Okay.
The only thing that should be separated is maybe the front steps. But they've already been, yeah, that we did that last time, so, yeah.
Okay, anybody have a motion?
Do you want it to the September meeting?
Yeah, I'll be back in September. Great, thanks.
Okay, I will make a motion to continue all items on HPCA 26-00062 to the September meeting.
Second.
Okay, could you guys please vote in PrimeGov? Okay, that motion carries. We'll see you actually right now, but we will also see you in September. You're next up on here too. HPCA 26-00063 at 704 Northwest 28th Street in Paseo.
So this application is for 4 items. The first item is to demolish and reconstruct the garage. The second item is to construct a rear addition. The other items are to extend the rear porch roof line and infill door on the east elevation. Staff recommended approval for all items with 2 conditions. The condition was that the applicant clarify what type of siding that they're going to use on the garage. And then the second condition is that the applicant submit new documentation for a garage door that meets the guidelines. Currently, they are proposing a metal garage door, which is not allowed in Paseo. Staff is available if you have any questions.
Okay, great. You want to state your name and address again?
Fallon Brooks Magnus, Jollybird Design, 11 Northeast 11th, representing the applicant.
All right.
Yep, we just need to construct an addition on this. I don't know what pictures you guys have. These pictures are old from before it was, or no, these might, did you just take these? I haven't been over there. I'm so sorry. Okay, I see what's happening.
So everything is recommending approval minus a couple conditions. Are you?
I had it
Yeah.
pulled up and I needed
Okay.
to look at it, sorry.
So that the applicant clarifies that what type of siding will be used on the proposed garage, and you submit new documentation or a garage door that meets the guidelines.
What did I submit on siding for the garage?
Metal.
Metal.
So I had 2 different siding materials called out. One was for Smart Side, and then one was for fiber cement, which both are you can use for new construction. You can use either one of those. I just wasn't sure which one you were using.
I think either one, they're pretty similar. I don't know what the client, whatever went on, well, the house was wood.
Well, I think since they're both,
Can we work
They're
this
both
out with staff, or do we need to?
yeah, they're
does-
both appropriate. If you could just clarify that with staff and then
Okay.
clarify an appropriate material for the door, then I don't think there's a problem with the application.
The
It was just
garage
those,
You're proposing a metal garage door, and that's not allowed in Paseo?
Okay. I don't know what got submitted then, so I'll take a look
Basically-
at that. We'll work that out.
basically what's submitted is what's on there now, which not, so.
Yeah.
So if you're comfortable working with staff on those 2 items and those 2 conditions, I think we can move for approval.
Yes, please.
But let's
Sure.
make sure anybody's signed up to speak.
Yeah, any members of the public? Okay, there being none.
I will make a motion to approve HPCA 26-00063 with the specific findings and conditions listed in the staff report.
Second.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. Can we clarify really quick? When you say with the specific findings, the staff report says that they do not recommend demolition of the garage. So I'm confused.
It does?
Ours says
That's what I thought I read.
Items 2 through 5, demolish and reconstruct garage, approve.
Yeah.
2 through 5. Oh, then what's item 1?
There is no item
There's
1
no
on
item
ours.
Okay, I see.
It's probably something that was administratively approved.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's
Siding for the
it
gable end was already
end. I
approved.
just realized it right as I think she said it too. All right, you guys, thank you for visiting my circus today. Let's just vote on this one. Thank you.
See you next month.
Okay.
I'll be back next month.
All right. HPCA 26-00064 at 111 Northwest 14th Street in here to Chilton. All right, come on up and state your name and address. All of you.
Hi, Michael Nichols, 440 Northwest 16th Street.
John Ridley, 1402 Kenilworth Road.
Klaus Ron Phillips, 600 North Robinson.
Okay. Which one of you is going to fight to speak about this?
All of us.
Okay. Obviously, it's a lot of info, and we've seen and approved the SPUD, but this is first pass on a pretty big project. So maybe do y'all want to hit the high points of the things that staff says they are missing information on, and kind of run through any updates there?
Yeah, we have gone through these already. Pardon me. With regards to the height of the building and the HVAC units, the HVAC units will not be above 50 feet. The parapet wall on the east and west are much lower. The building's at 46 feet, and the building roof line on the 4th floor slopes to the north. Therefore, the height will not be above 50 feet. With regard to height of the balconies, Klaus, I think you have a height for those. We assume that that's something that we can submit to staff.
I would
those
think
height?
so. Dimensions on balcony railings. Yeah, okay.
Actually, I have that here. The balcony railings are 3'7.5".
Okay.
With regard to the open space is 15.9%. Let's see. The cast stone detail, we do have a detail that we can submit to staff for the cast stone surround at the front entryway. We also have a detail for the sign on the front of the building, address sign, which we can also submit to staff.
And signs can be administratively approved, correct?
If they meet
If
the
it meets-
criteria.
Right, but they are eligible for that.
But we could come back if they don't.
Okay. Talk to us about lighting. I think that was one of the bigger areas in which we were missing some info.
The only lighting, with the exception of landscape lighting, is there's soffit lights at the entrances to the building.
Okay, I think that was, and I'm gonna try to find it. I wrote down 110C, wherever that is in this packet. That it seemed staff was calling out a question about maybe not having the exact info on that, or
was there lights on the balconies?
yeah, like it seems like staff is missing info on whether there's enough lighting to meet code on the building and in the parking lot. And Angela, jump in here if I'm wrong.
I think there was a question about the balconies, whether they had lights or didn't have lights, not having sufficient lighting.
You're welcome to jump in, Klaus. I'm not sure where there are soffits and are not.
Okay.
So-
Yes, yeah, the back entries and the front entries, we have essentially like a small outdoor candlelight, it's not
Yeah.
really visible, but it would illuminate, the ground in front of the entries. And then
I
think
mean,
there was
like the more lights, the merrier, in my opinion, right here. So, like,
Do what?
I mean, I think we're gonna have to. I think the issue is that we are maybe lacking enough lighting, right?
I think there was a comment on the parking lot
Okay.
lighting, and we don't specifically have any plans for the parking lot lighting, but, regarding the parking lot, looking at the comments in the staff report, one question was about closing the alley, and we got the signature for that, so that's moving forward. And I think you mentioned it's going to be here next month for, for the alley closure, basically. So, as far as the parking lot's concerned, I wonder if, we could get that approved with the condition that we, it's contingent on the closure of that alley, which we'll be back for. And then if we are required, whatever the requirements are on lighting, maybe we can submit that to staff, and staff feels it, needs committee review, maybe that could go back as well.
And I think it was less about our commission review as it was meeting code requirements.
Right, yeah.
I think it would be our intention to have lighting at the balconies
Yeah.
in the same form, soffit lights like the entrances.
Yeah, there are no like wall sconces planned, anything like that at the moment.
Can I get clarity on, so it looks like there's 30 parking spaces. It states in there that it's 23 units, but from my quick count, it looks more like 25 on the site plan, unless I'm not reading or understanding the layout of the interior. Can you provide clarity on
Yeah,
how
there's a
many?
gym on the first floor.
Right,
So that wouldn't be part of the 25.
sure. Is it 25 or 23?
Well, yes,
23
it's 23 units.
1, 2, 3, 4.
There are a few units that are 2-bedroom, but they kind of have a similar floor plan
Okay,
as they kind of stack in a similar way. So that might be, you're gonna have to look real close where the
okay, I was trying to read it. So it looks,
So, yeah.
I'm counting 6 on the first floor, not because of the gym, right? And then I was counting 8 and 8 on the third and the second, and then 3, I think, maybe 4 on the fourth.
3.
3? Yeah, 3. So I think that's where I was getting, so maybe one of those units on the third and the second are really only 7 units.
Yeah, the second and third floor, the units on the south, east, and west corners of the building are 2-bedroom units, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it might be hard to tell from the drawing, but there is a common wall between the two.
At the entry doors, if you're having trouble seeing where that party wall is.
There seems to be a lot of entry doors.
Like the bedroom's in the same spot, everything's the same. It's almost like the door into the bedroom flips, I guess, if you could put it that way. So if you look on like the second
Okay.
floor, there's a door that goes to that dining room. But on the first floor, that's a solid wall. And that bedroom goes to the unit that comes off that kind of main entry hall from the south.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 6, 1, 2,
So yeah, I'm
3,
seeing
4, 5, 6, 7,
6.
14. Yeah, 23 units.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be second guessing myself on my unit count.
I mean, I still don't quite see it, but
She's just taking your word for it.
Would it help if we outlined it for you and?
no, it's okay.
handed
I
it
just
to you?
wanted, that's fine. If you say it's confirmed it's 23, then that's good. So there's a couple bedroom units. I'm just thinking of like parking count for bedrooms. So is it, each bedroom is basically provided a parking space?
That was the goal, essentially. Yep.
Love
Street-
that.
Street currently has a lot of on-street parking, sorry to interrupt. So we're trying to add that a little bit by providing enough spaces.
I was going to ask if we wanted to talk about the staff comment about the vertical metal siding.
That was really the only comment versus missing info, I think that was,
Well, they say it should be redesigned without it.
right, yeah. No, I just meant, sorry, that was the only like potential requested change versus missing information.
Was that the metal panel, he said?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm happy to speak to that. And it seems like, and maybe Angela, you can clarify, the question about the metal panel is more related to the first floor back entries and less about the kind of the fourth floor, right? Or
Not necessarily. The
Okay.
comments are relevant to both.
Okay.
For one, the guidelines and standards do not support metal siding.
Okay,
So we're
got it.
going to need a unique circumstance, even for the fourth floor.
Got it.
Staff is more opposed to metal siding at the first floor visually
Right.
than at the upper store.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, the way, it looked like there were some specific findings in staff report maybe that gave some justification for the metal panel on the fourth floor because we have the setback. So it's really you have to be away from the building a little bit of a, little distance to really even be able to see it. And, it's a durable material, it's lightweight material, adding a lot of brick up there would be heavy. So that was kind of our, our hope to use that material on the 4th floor. On the 1st floor, the reason why we're using it is really several points. One is we already have in the building, so it kind of continues that theme. We wanted to define the rear entries, because for a lot of people, those rear entries are going to be the one they use every day. They park and back and then come in. And we assume because it's new construction and it's to the rear, it's not like the front entry, that maybe there'd be some leniency on using materials that might not be explicitly approved. And the reason why we didn't use, just like set in the brick, we had that actually at one point, but we wanted to maintain the, the structural plane of that wall, I guess. And so the metal panel is quite a bit thinner than brick, so it gave us a little bit of definition for the rear entry without changing, the way the wall structurally, doesn't have to come in. So those are kind of our, reasons for doing that. But I'd love to hear if, those are justifications,
Klaus, the design's fabulous, in my opinion. I think you've paid close attention to scale, mass. It feels appropriate. I think the 4th floor setting back is doing exactly what you're saying is doing. I agree with your comments about creating a differential in materiality. I just wonder, and I like the metal panel. I think it gives it that kind of contemporary touch, but not too much, that kind of is, this is new, this is of the time. I just wonder, is there a material, if that's not allowed in the guidelines, is there an alternative material that kind of still achieves what you're trying to do without going back to brick? Because I agree with you. I think taking all that back to brick would not be.
Yeah, that would be a lot of brick.
I think that would set the design back.
Vertical wood siding or hardy, so you're still, it's not as deep as the brick. You don't need the air pocket, and you could still have your vertical grooves depending on what profile you chose. You just obviously have to paint it rather than having a pre-finished option. Or
For what it's worth, no offense, Klaus, we're willing to change those two elevations to an approved material.
We don't want to hold up the approval,
Yeah.
on that one design detail.
I don't have a strong feeling about it. I feel like, and this is not in a negative way, this is so out of scale with anything else nearby, even the multifamilies nearby. I mean, excepting the Aberdeen, which is, a whole other animal, that I'm inclined to issue a lot more leniency than I would if we were really trying to fit something in. If this were a 4-plex or an 8-plex, I would probably have a stronger opinion on it, but it's just so out of scale with everything else anyway. I'm inclined to give a little more leniency. I don't have a strong opinion.
The metal doesn't bother me at all at the 4th floor. You said it's pushed back and you aren't going to see it unless you're way down the street or, a couple blocks away. And the way I read the staff report, I know they say it's not allowed in the district at all, but that comment from them, sorry, scrolling back up, does specifically refer to the rear entries. Mm-hmm. And that's how I interpreted it. So if, maybe that was like a middle ground where we just revise the rear entries and 4th floor stays. Could be something I'm okay with, but.
Since you will need a unique circumstance for the material in general, are you comfortable with a unique circumstance that the metal siding and the proposed glass for the windows provide both differentiation and added interest for this uniquely proposed structure in this area?
I think we can get there with a unique circumstance,
Thank you.
I would hate to push you into some sort of composite material that has to be painted,
I agree.
doesn't wear well.
If we're going to push a unique circumstance, then I think we can do it for all the locations they want to use it. It was just providing a middle ground if other commissioners didn't feel comfortable
Yeah,
with it.
and they're minimally visible from the public right of way.
Yeah, and they're rear entries, so.
Angela, anything else that you want, I mean, obviously, we can't approve this at all without any conditions or anything, but like, what are we still missing? What all needs to be in some language if we're gonna move it forward?
I think that those conditions that deal with materials, I can work with the applicant towards acquiring all of that. Those items that asked for specific measurements, like the awning, the railing, the depth of the balcony, I can work with the applicant on that. As far as the parking lot itself, landscape will be required for that in addition to, and I do not know how that affects the number of parking spaces, but I don't believe that that's something that has to be addressed, other than staff needs to work with the applicant towards acquiring code-compliant landscaping and lighting.
Yeah, we could make that a condition, right?
And
And one
yes,
condition needs to be the closure of the alley
Yeah.
for
Right.
accessibility. Yep.
closing and vacating.
And one other quick comment on item, let me find which one it was. It was the dumpster.
Item 4.
Yes.
Item 4. We, the staff report notes a 10-foot setback at the east alley, but we, for the SPUD, we have that as a 0-foot setback. And I've got the SPUD document here, and I can submit that, the rezoning document, but,
It's item 5 on the SPUD is
yeah, I can.
predicates a
that's fine.
0-foot
Yeah.
setback.
If we can work together to nail that down, because the last provided to me was a required setback of 10 foot.
And that might have changed during the rezoning process.
May
or-
have.
So.
Thank you.
Okay, so Angela, regarding how we should be phrasing this,
Need public first.
sorry, well, yeah, just hang on, a quick question about the dumpster. If the information in the staff recommendation is not accurate, it's stating that it is requiring a 10-foot setback and the SPUD does not require that, like, what's the best way to address that in a motion? Or do we just approve it as is and just strike the specific finding number 2?
Maybe, yeah, condition that we verify with staff that the SPUD is, I don't know, yeah.
That's not a 10-foot.
Right, I think we would just want to make sure to strike that finding, or,
We don't have to include it.
It's a consideration, not necessarily a finding. Right? Oh, no, it is, I'm sorry. It's both.
well, and actually, I may be talking myself in circles because it says at the bottom that it says conditions that setbacks meet the requirements of the SPUD. So if what they have proposed is meeting the requirements of the SPUD, there's probably no change needed.
Yeah.
Okay, any members of the public wish to speak to this, give commentary, feedback? Nada, okay. Somebody
Surprise.
better hurry up and make
Make
a
a motion.
motion.
You sure, Randy?
I don't know if I'm brave enough to tackle all of this.
It's a lot. If somebody needs a minute to take some notes, we might get a little bit of, Angela might need to stand up and be prepared to chime in.
I mean, we were making a motion,
We were always going to have the condition that they submit the final approval to close and vacate the alley, because the whole project is really, that has to happen for any of this to work. But it sounds like, we still should include that, but it sounds like that's going to be a doable thing.
And that will still be a recommendation, right, Angela?
So we still need to make a separate recommendation?
well, I think the parking lot.
I was reading and not listening. However, if we start at the top, approve item number 4 for the dumpster and use the specific finding that the setbacks meet the requirements of the SPUD, since they meet all other requirements, that should be enough.
Okay.
On the alley, since we're recommending approval, is that a separate motion?
Like, do we need to treat it, we are making a recommendation to whomever is higher above us on this one, I don't remember, Public Works.
For the dumpster?
No, for the alley vacation, like
For the alley
yeah.
vacation? Yes, you can make a recommendation to Planning Commission
Okay.
to close the
Just to
the
planning?
north alley.
Okay,
I think it'd probably be easiest just to make that as a separate motion since the other
Yeah.
one's going to be lengthy enough.
yeah, okay. So we're basically gonna need a condition on almost all 10 of these.
But it's the same condition, isn't it?
Yes,
Just that it
I mean,
conforms with
it-
the SPUD and provides it.
I don't think there is one.
it varies a little bit, I mean, it's
No.
dimensions
Is
on
it
some
easier
of them.
just to go item by
Item
item?
by item?
Yeah,
Make it easier and palatable?
I think so.
So as far as a recommendation for the alley closure, that hasn't yet been applied for. So you need not make a recommendation there. It's not on the agenda, so you can't vote on it.
Okay, so we just need to make that a condition of the approval.
Yes.
Got it.
Thank you.
I don't have it in front of me, so.
Go for it.
What? Okay.
Somebody has a computer do it.
I'll make a motion to approve item 4 on HPCA 26000064 with the condition that the dumpster meet the setback stated in the SPUD
Do you also want the specific findings for that?
with the specific findings.
Second.
Okay. Okay, congratulations on your dumpster. What next?
Items 6 and 7, the approval recommendation for that would also need a condition that the north alley be closed and vacated for approval. Otherwise, it meets the criteria.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve items 6 and 7 with the specific findings noted in the staff report and the condition that the applicant files for the alley vacation, gets it approved.
gets approved, yeah.
Second.
Okay. Okay, that motion carries.
Continuing item 8, you could vote to approve item 8 contingent upon working with staff towards illustrating the calculations for site coverage meeting the criteria of the SPUD.
I'll make a motion to approve as Angela stated with the specific consideration and findings stated in the staff report.
Okay,
Second.
thank you. All right, that motion carries.
Oh, did I not? Yes.
Item 9, concrete and sidewalks, approve with conditions if you like.
I'll approve item 9 with the specific findings and conditions in the staff report.
Second.
All right, that motion carries.
Lovely. My apologies. Items 1, 2, and 3 will need a unique circumstance for the materials as far as the metal is concerned for the structure, and a condition that staff work with the applicants toward acquiring all the necessary dimensions.
Patrick or Gary, I think it's your turn. There's one left for each of you.
I move approval of item number 1, 2, and 3 with the special conditions that it'll be minimally visible from the public right-of-way.
Okay, do we have a second?
Specific findings?
Yeah,
Yes.
and additional information. Right,
Pardon me?
with the specific findings.
Yeah,
and
I think that's
additional.
what David just said, yeah.
Yeah.
And the additional information will be provided.
Yeah, staff.
Yes, yes.
Work with staff on dimensions.
Second.
Oh,
So
sorry.
dimensions and materials will be provided, and the unique circumstances that those materials not meeting the current criteria are providing for both differentiation and interest at locations that are minimally visible. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, now we need a recommendation to the Planning Commission on the closure and vacation of the alley at the,
No,
We
Nope.
cannot make,
oh, we've already included that? Sorry, I'm lost. I thought that had to be entirely separate as a recommendation. Okay.
It hasn't been applied for yet, so we can't.
Oh, right.
Are we on
Parking.
5?
Yeah, the parking lot, but you could make it contingent upon the closing
Yeah, I think that's what we're...
of the alley.
So I move approval on item number 5, construct parking lot contingent on the application and approval for closure and vacating of the alley.
I'm only bringing this up as a minor point and a question. I proposed something contingent upon something once, and Katie told me it can't be phrased that way, that it's got to be with the agreed upon condition that it will be supplied. I don't know if that's right or not, but she said we don't do contingencies.
And that's listed under additional information for that item
Yeah.
specifically. So
So
that
just a footnote on making sure we get that one
the
right.
condition that additional information be provided as
Thank
stated
you.
in the staff report.
Second.
I hit it. You can take me off.
Sorry.
I got impatient.
That was your contribution to all of these motions? Okay. Hit everybody on
waiting
the
for
whole
you.
commission.
item 10, continue the signage. And I think it's fine to continue that. If it's administratively approvable, I can work with staff on that. 2 months?
Yeah, it would be the information I need on
Okay.
staff, and if it's insufficient or we discuss it further.
Yeah, so,
Is October soon enough? Okay.
okay.
And that wouldn't hold up their CA once that's worked out, or how does that?
I'm sorry.
Does that item being open hold up the
No.
certificate of
No.
appropriateness?
Cost, do you want September or October?
October.
I think October's fine, because I feel like we could probably figure something out with staff, in worst case, if we can, it shouldn't hold anything up.
Okay. Okay, I move to continue item number 10 to the October
Second.
2nd meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we have a second? Oh, y'all both said second, and I
Yeah, I
thought you
don't
were
think
saying
it's
October
October
2nd,
2nd.
and I
It's not
was-
October 2nd.
Okay,
October meeting.
there we go. Okay, all
That
right.
was
That
exciting.
motion has passed as well.
Is there anything else?
8, I think so.
Yes.
What's the question?
Did we do number 8?
We did 7 and 8 didn't we do?
Yes.
6 and 7 together.
Yeah, I think they're all
And then we did 8, yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah. We've done them all. We don't usually have to double check that we've actually gone through it all. Okay. Well, good work, team. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, staff, for being patient with our long list of items.
Thank you.
Yeah, so y'all will get with staff, provide them everything, you know the drill. Okay. All right, HPCA 26-00065 at 400 Northwest 35th Street in Edgemere Park.
Okay, this request is for a second-story addition, replace 2 windows, construct back porch, and install a fence. This is the first time this case has been before the commission. The proposed rear addition is relatively small, but there is some concern that it may not be visibly distinguishable from the historic structure. 2 windows are proposed for replacement. The applicant has submitted documentation of the condition of the existing windows. The proposed windows need additional documentation as they do not appear to be a replacement in kind. The proposed 8-foot fence on a front-facing side yard is not supported by the standards and guidelines for height or location. The request for item 6, however, can be withdrawn as the applicant has updated the drawings to indicate that the windows are existing in that location. The staff has recommended a continuance of all items.
Okay, thank you. Would you state your name and address for the record?
Yeah, Britt Portree, 400 Northwest 35th Street.
Your address.
My address?
Yeah.
The address of the property?
No, your address. Isn't that, like, we just need your address.
Oh, my business address?
Yeah, like, we just need
I'm
your
sorry.
address.
I've always given the home address. 1538 Northwest 35th Street.
Okay, thanks. Okay, commissioners, any immediate comments or questions?
It's like the extent of the second floor addition is just the closet area, is that right?
Yeah, and it's being added onto an existing addition. We know that because it was built on, there was a open porch on the side of the home that was enclosed that is still being supported with single white brick structure that we need to go ahead and reinforce and do that a little bit better. And so that's what we're building on top of. We worked with staff for 2 meetings for this addition. Originally, I presented a design that had a differentiation, but just with the nature of how the roof lines were getting a little awkward, staff recommended continuity in this case so that we can continue that back elevation, have it looking really nice.
Do we have any photos anywhere of the existing south elevation?
I have the elevations. I don't have photos.
I'm looking at the elevation, and I just didn't know if we had any actual pictures of as it exists at the moment. Just trying to understand like the dimensions that I'm seeing back here.
Yeah.
Keith, is that the only picture? Oh, okay. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I was not able to get into the backyard to take any pictures, so you've got the front and then the side yard.
Okay. Well, okay. My main request was going to be pictures of the existing south elevation, since that's what's proposed for change.
I guess we can't see it.
That's actually a really good point. Very minimally visible,
Can't get
clearly.
a picture of it.
And that kind of hides behind the chimney anyway, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I do agree that south face in the current condition has kind of an odd.
Yeah, and if you actually keep it on this right here, so we're wanting the other elevation to look just, if you can see the slope of that little addition on the back. Staff recommended us have the other side elevation match that. Yeah, that guy. And so that's why they propose continuity. So it comes in a little bit on that side gable on either side, and then goes all the way across the back.
When we get to a place, whether it's today or next month or whatever, to approve this, could we approve it with a condition that the applicant provide photos of the existing south elevation to, you know, just to make sure we're all speaking the same language and know exactly what we're changing? Whether we get there today or not, I just wanted to note that.
Yeah, I just wrote that down.
Thank you.
Okay, so staff is recommending a continuance on all items. Is that, so I don't have to kind of wait through it. Is that mostly waiting on information, or is that, Angela, issues that we need to look at unique circumstances?
We need to talk about the fence for sure.
Let's see. Some of the windows had not been documented, so I had recommended continuance because of that. What else? Oh, about it being visibly distinguishable. The fence itself would need a unique circumstance if you were going to approve it because of the location and the 8-foot height on the front of a side yard. And I don't think that I had the materials listed for the fence either.
Yes, yeah, I'm happy to give that to you for sure, and I can send it, if I haven't already, I can send it again for sure.
Thank you.
I had a quick question on windows. So my clients have been working on their windows B and C, the one on that dormer and then the one on the side gable. They had been trying to repair and repair and repair. That's their daughter Harper's room, and wasps keep getting into the window because of its degradation. I was wondering, like, what is the line between this window is done for, we need to get a new window? Do you guys have a threshold for that?
I believe it's 50%. Is it more than 50% deterioration?
Yes.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It can mean a lot of different things depending on the structure of the window. Some windows are truly next to impossible to repair just because of their original structure. I don't know with specificity on this one.
Yeah, it could be anything from like a rotted wood sash to, you know, broken muntins, or, you know, the sides are bowing. It can be any number of things. It's just the onus is on the applicant to prove to us that more than 50% is deteriorated.
Right. And if they have been trying to repair it, maybe some documentation on that would be helpful as to, you know, why those solutions aren't working.
Yeah, we had submitted photos with a report, but maybe I can just send it again and we can talk about that.
Should we have that here, Angela?
Yes, it should be in your packet. And
with the report on the repairs?
Staff felt like they were over 50% deteriorated. So that wasn't the problem. It's just when they are being replaced, they should be replaced in kind. And that's a front-facing window, and then even the one on the side, the way that the house is placed on the lot, that one is very visible as well.
Yeah.
So that was for materials.
What kind of window are you proposing to replace the front elevation ones with?
So we have found, our difficulty with the type of modern windows, as everybody knows, is the light transmittance. We have found two that don't quite have the is it 0.55 or 0.56 light transmittance that's required. But Marvin and Pella both offer one that's in the low 0.5s. Really, I just send it to staff and then they say that's good or that's not good. I feel like that's been the best that we've been able to do with our existing projects.
Are they wood windows or are they?
They're aluminum clad wood windows, yeah.
So what's the opposition to having a wood window built and replacing
The glass is too efficient. There's not enough light that comes in, and so that's the pushback that I've received.
However, with the wood windows, you either have to have single pane to get the right Munson profile. Or if you go double pane, then it gets real thick and chunky. Whereas aluminum clad wood, you can do the thinner profile to actually match what it was historically. And we have been approving aluminum clad wood. I just can't remember if they were on front elevation or not.
I would advocate for a simulated divided light to match the profile.
Yes.
The Mutton profile, in my opinion, is the
more important.
is the
Yes.
more important
I agree.
element.
We have,
Looks like we have a member of the public who wishes to contribute some info. Welcome. I knew you'd make it up here eventually. You want to state your name and address for the record?
I've been very quiet, so. Marva Ellard, 1521 North Chartel Avenue. Being someone who spends a lot of time with wood windows, there are local people who could make new sashes or new wood windows with whatever mutton pattern they need to be. You all can drive by Villa Teresa and see Brad's work any day of the week, and so I'd be happy to share his number with the applicant's representative if that's something that you all would like to pursue.
I would defer that to the applicant.
And staff will still need, regardless of which window you propose to use, we're going to need the VLT and the reflectance. And you mentioned 0.56, and that is not what's in the guidelines. The guidelines and standards require 0.74. And so when we're working with an item that staff does not have purview over, we require that the commission give us direction and what the limitations are that you're willing to budge on.
Yeah, and no, I'm glad Angela said that because the conversations I have had with staff has to do with the light transmittance, but it seems sash profile are more prevalent to the commission's purview. And so really, we just want to make sure that it's safe and there are no bugs getting in the house. So whatever you guys recommend.
Okay, let's maybe table the window conversation and move on to the addition. Anybody have comments on the addition? I think where we're going to struggle is it doesn't technically meet the guidelines because it doesn't differentiate from the original historic structure, which is always a very hard one for me. And this is a tiny addition, so I don't know if there's a way to do it in which it differentiates and doesn't, cause harm to the architecture of the property and, everything that we like about it. So, Angela, do you have some comments there?
The applicant, Britt, has just indicated that the entirety of the addition is occurring within the boundaries of an existing addition. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Oh, the entire thing. Okay. That's probably a...
Good enough.
Yeah, moving on from that one. Let's talk about the fence. I am not seeing a lot of information on the fence. Do you want to just walk us through that one and point us in the right direction?
Sure, yeah. So there's a privacy fence. Well, the property's kind of shaped like an ice cream cone. So there's a privacy fence along the two back lines of it. The clients are wanting to continue that privacy fence along the front structure just to add more privacy to their backyard. And it would be right behind, if you go, right behind where that swoop is on the brick.
Okay, sorry. So that's the neighbor's back fence right there. Oops. Okay, and they're wanting to do, is it illustrated in here and I'm just staring
Yeah,
right
if you look
at
at
it?
the, no, well, if you look at the site plan,
It's shown on the elevation too.
What about materials?
we, in our application, we said that we wanted to continue with the same material as the existing privacy fence, but we can get more specific in that if we need to. We had submitted photos.
So I think the issue is that the 8 foot is not within the guidelines without a unique condition or unique circumstance. Would you just pull that down to 6 feet would meet the?
Yeah, we wanted to apply for what we really wanted, understanding that that might be something that we needed to pull back on.
So the other issue is the location. It's at the front of the house. which is pretty unconventional, but so is this lot. I think I could get behind it being in its location if it were transparent, but definitely not an 8-foot privacy fence.
What if it were a 6-foot privacy fence?
I don't think I could get there. I think the only thing that I can cite off the top of my head that's at the, I mean, we've given some allowances for sure, properties that abut commercial properties, things like that, but I couldn't personally get there with a fence at the front line of the house unless it was lower and transparent.
So that would encourage us to potentially add privacy with landscaping. How does everybody feel about that?
It's pretty private with landscaping right now, so I don't think we're gonna get any, I don't think you're gonna add something that.
Well, no, I mean, it's not on that side whenever you're standing there. So if we were going to add some shrubs or something.
I mean, we don't
do that.
we don't review landscaping unless it's required for screening or something.
Yeah, I
so,
just wanted to check.
I mean, you could go plant 32 hollies right there and we wouldn't be able to say anything about
I
it.
mean, we
or
could
so, you know.
put it as a condition though, right?
Can we, if it's not related to screening, can we provide conditions that there is or is not landscaping in a certain location?
I don't think it's necessary, based on what Britt has described as the location proposed for the fence, which we weren't absolutely sure of. It is not located 6 feet back. So regardless of whether it's transparent or not, you're still going to need a unique circumstance to provide for this.
Right. No, I think she was saying they will, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you were saying if we were to make you, approve it, but it's transparent, you're saying, hey, but then we would go do a lot of landscaping so you can't see it anyway and they get the privacy, correct?
Yeah, I mean,
so
I
we
would
wouldn't be requiring landscaping.
got
It's
it.
more she's asking like,
Yeah.
is that okay? Which my response was we wouldn't regulate what you plant right there.
Can I ask why you're comfortable with a transparent fence in front of the house? I mean, that's just very different from.
It's not at the front of the house. I mean, it's at the front line of the house. My rationale when I'm looking at this is, I just think it's a very unconventionally shaped lot. And so to give them anything behind a fence line would be,
Yeah, understanding that, but we're also, our purview is what the historic character is from the public right-of-way. So that cone shape being in the backyard is really irrelevant to what we would be reviewing. So if you wanted it in that location, you'd probably just need to make a case for a unique circumstance. I don't know what that would be since there's not an existing fence in that location.
I mean, there are a lot of lower transparent fences throughout the historic districts that are at the front of the house or in the front yards. So it's not something that's never happened before, but I agree. I mean,
Right, but does it meet the guidelines? So it either, meet the guidelines or have a unique circumstance.
Sure, yeah, the goal of the clients is not to have the fence to section off the backyard, it's the privacy. And so that's why I wanted to have the conversation of, is there a way to make that happen?
if the goal is privacy and they want a privacy fence, I would say we're most likely going to approve a 6-foot with the conventional setback that's in the guidelines.
Your answer is yes, you can landscape it however you want for your privacy.
Okay, let's see. Any other questions on this application? I think we're going to be moving towards a continuance of most items, it sounds like. Maybe not the addition.
Well, I guess my question is are we headed towards a continuance or are we approving with conditions for staff approval on things like window documentation? I mean, is there anything here that's going to hold up on approval?
That's a good question for you, Angela. I mean, the window conversation. Oh, sorry. What is-
Robbie, do you want to
Oh, I
address
can't
that?
see Robbie down
What
there.
items are you willing to work with the applicant on?
Yeah, we worked with Robbie on this one.
The windows themselves, I think, are going to have to come back before you along with the fence. The second-story addition, if there is a unique circumstance for not having the visible distinguished between the two historic building and the new construction. We've got the French doors and a single door replacement, and that one, she can work with staff on that. I just need to make sure I have all of the documentation, and there's some things that were not submitted as far as the single door.
So it sounds like between the fence and the windows, you're coming back anyway?
Yeah.
So do you want to just continue the whole thing and?
No, I think that we would like to approve what we can. I mean, yeah, I think we want to approve what we can. I don't think that we continue the fence. I don't think that that's a conversation that my clients are wanting to continue, and so I don't want to use anybody's time. And then the windows, we can continue that unless there's a conversation around some sort of creative extreme repair that we might be able to
Yeah, I think the
approve.
windows need to come back. The other question I have is, and I apologize if you stated this while I was reading through some of this. Robbie, what documentation do we have, you know, factually proving that the proposed addition is going on top of something that is occurring, just because we don't have a picture of it? So that's where I'm struggling. Like, we're just kind of, or are we just taking everybody's word for it that it was a previous addition?
At this point, we're taking Britt's word for it because I didn't research that. I don't know.
Okay.
It could be, but I just didn't look.
I like the addition the way it is. I think it looks great, and I think it is so small that it's probably the best way to do it. But if we are approving it because we're saying it doesn't have to be differentiated because it's a previous addition, I think a condition of the approval needs to be that we get some documentation and photos of the south facade. Right, but documentation on the addition too. Otherwise, it just needs to be, the language needs to be different if it's not a previous addition.
Can you provide documentation showing why and how you can tell there was already an addition added on?
Yeah, maybe I can get David and Caitlin. So how do I mean, should I just take a picture of the brick veneer wall, or?
I think you could do pictures, and there's a good chance that they'll have it listed on County Assessor.
Sure. This was one of them where people just kind of did whatever for whenever.
Yeah, it may
I hear you.
digging, but often photos, like, we may look at it and make a judgment call that yes, like, you know,
Yeah.
interior photos too, like, what is that?
Like, if it's a different kind of brick, you know, how they've joined that addition to what would have been the original exterior wall. I think things
Yeah.
like that.
Or interior door right there if it's newer, or, you know, something.
The ceilings are different heights in there, and so, yeah, I'll just send a slew of photos.
Yeah, I just don't want to get in the habit of approving things, you know, taking somebody's word for an
Yeah, that
existing
makes
condition
sense.
that we have nothing to, you know, to look at.
I think staff would be most comfortable if that documentation was submitted and presented to the commission.
Yeah, I think it needs to come back. I think we just have a lot of
I mean,
unknowns.
Would it be a unique circumstance that the scale and size of this addition is so small that it would actually detract from the historic character of the house?
I think it is, and that was my point, that if
Yeah.
that's our rationale, that's fine. We just need to phrase this correctly if we're, you know, are we basing it on one thing or the other thing? But we
Yeah.
need photos of it anyway.
And personally, for me, that doesn't change how I feel about the addition.
No.
Like, I whether it was existing or not, I think it's still an improvement, and still reflects the historic character, maybe even better than what's there right now. So for me, that doesn't necessarily change anything. But
Outside of photos, we also had a structural engineer come out and assess the addition. Can we submit a report, or is that something that we could do?
Yeah, I think let's continue this and come back with the structural engineering report. I don't feel comfortable moving forward on it without some pictures of what it actually looks like. I just think I don't think we need to get in the habit of that, of just letting people submit drawings versus photo documentation. And I know we normally get it from staff, but this is, it wasn't possible in this instance, and it just is what it is.
I guess my point is that's appeasing that specific unique circumstance. The unique circumstance that we're chasing doesn't require you to do all that work. So pick your
For me, it's the whole
path
thing.
appropriately.
We're just making assumptions at this point. So it's not really about that. I like the addition. I just think we're making us, like, we're just trusting that the, you know, the presented elevation is the actual rear of the house, and I just think it's a bad habit.
Make the motion.
Any other commissioners want to speak on it? Figure out what kind of motion we're going to make.
Any members of the public wish to speak to it? Anybody?
On the fence, you said that you don't want to come back for a continuance on that?
No.
So are you just pulling that item?
Yeah, and then we pulled item 6 before we got started.
So I guess, can we just make a note that the applicant is pulling item 5 and item 6 off of this application?
I believe that's how it's handled, but Robbie, is that how we handle that, that it's stricken from their application? Yes. Okay. So it is stricken.
Can I ask what, it sounded like that there were two, am I right in saying that there are two extenuating circumstances that two paths we could go down?
For the addition?
For the addition?
Yeah, I think you're.
Which path am I going down?
I think you're going to get to a place of approval on your addition, and I don't think we're going to require changes, but I think we're going to require documentation.
For which path?
Both.
Either. We want to see what the back of this house actually looks like.
Sure. Okay.
One requires more work, like your engineer's report, but which you already have, to verify that the addition is located within an addition. The other, maybe, perhaps, based on the commission, how they word it, is a unique circumstance that building the addition with alternative materials to what is already there would undermine the integrity of that structure.
And I wouldn't worry too much about, like, on your end, just provide it all. I mean,
Sure.
let us determine our comfort level with that, but.
Sure. Okay.
So what would prevent us to make that motion right now?
If I provided the documentation?
I mean, nothing prevents
I
you
don't
from
think
making any
you're- yeah.
motion.
Okay.
But it sounds like staff is wanting the windows to come back to us regardless.
Which that makes sense, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to make a motion for HPCA 2600065 for item 1 to construct the second-story addition, that the differentiation of materials would actually undermine the integrity of the historic structure. Item 2, replace pair of French doors with single door. I think that one required documentation to staff. Is that accurate?
We didn't really talk about that one, but yeah.
Is that accurate?
Robbie's shaking his.
Okay, and then.
I can't see Robbie, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
And construct back porch. Again, I believe maybe there was a little bit of additional documentation necessary to staff for that. That's my motion. Yes.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, I just want to clarify, I like your addition. I don't like moving something forward that I haven't seen, so I just wanted to clarify my no vote up there.
Oh, no, that makes a lot of sense, it really does.
And then which meeting would you like to continue the replacement of the windows to?
September is great.
Great. Okay, I'll make a motion to continue item 3 to the September commission meeting.
Second.
Okay, that motion carries.
Okay, thank y'all.
Okay, moving on to HPCA 26-00066 at 224 Northwest 18th Street in Heritage Hills. Looks like the applicant is present. All right, if you'll state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, I'm Julie Hansen. I'm the homeowner, 224 Northwest 18th. And my application is to install brick edging along our center front walk, extending just slightly around the stairs down to the sidewalk.
Okay, great. Commissioners, any immediate questions, thoughts, or concerns?
Me? Sorry.
Staff is recommending a continuance here. I feel conflicted because I understand their rationale behind a continuance, but, you know, lacking any concrete foundation, I feel like this is impermanent, and I feel like not approving it is kind of infringing on somebody's creativity versus something that's going to impact, you know, have a broader impact on the home or the concrete or anything else. But y'all may feel differently than I do.
I don't have a computer, so
That's okay.
I can't see everything.
Yeah.
So you're wanting to dig it out the flower bed and just put bricks in there, right?
Yeah, that's my diagram.
You're drawing on just one side.
No, I just drew I didn't want to draw like bricks on both sides.
You didn't want to draw all those bricks?
Yeah.
Copy
So
and paste.
bricks on both sides, extending around. So do a dry lay. It'll have, like crushed gravel as a foundation, just so it'll be stable. And then I'm going to probably put like metal edging on the backside between the grass and the brick itself, just to prevent erosion, because I'm going to do like a, I don't know, I think they call it a silt, but like something that really sticks in terms of not just sand. I think DeLisi makes a product. I have brick sidewalks in our backyard, which have that product, and they're solid.
And just for a little bit of context, I had a couple of questions for staff on this one. This used to be an administratively approvable item, but because a lot of people started doing it and then coming in after the fact and making it more permanent, it became, you know, now that's why it's recommended for a continuance. But I don't
Or
view
before
what's...
the commission, I don't know that continuance
Right.
is necessary.
I mean, I don't view what is proposed here as permanent enough to make an issue out of it. It feels to me a little bit like regulating somebody's landscaping, which we just discussed, or regulating somebody's paint color or something. And it's not, impermanent things are not things that I really want to.
One question I have, so on the east side of your, east side of your sidewalk, sorry. You've got that kind of rolling terrace,
Yes.
you know, there a little bit. So I guess I was wondering how you were planning on, you know, addressing that with the brick. Like, are you raising it up? Are you following the slope and the brick's going to go down with it? Where you have your planter, like how did you envision that?
It'll probably just go down the slope. That is an area that apparently in the past has been an erosion issue. You can see on this picture someone had, those are not concreted in, they're just stuffed in there between the sidewalk and the lawn.
Yeah.
Some bricks. I may leave those as they are. They seem to be effective, but right next to the steps, the bottom step or the first step that is coming off the sidewalk, there is already a crack between that and the sidewalk. So there's been settling before. You can also see erosion. So I think if we can, I think that we can manage this better. I'm going to plant it up too. I'm a big gardener, so I'll make sure it's maintained. But I think I can manage the erosion. I'm very keen on erosion issues and understand that can be a problem.
Yeah, I know, for sure. I'm personally fine with the brick. I think it's very minor, and like Sarah said, it's not a big permanent undertaking. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't, like we weren't gonna get like a retaining
Right,
situation
no.
there, because
Now I
the
understand what
rolling
you're asking.
slopes are
Yeah.
so indicative of
Right.
characteristics of the
It'll be
neighborhood.
flush with the grass,
Okay.
not going to be a retaining wall.
Great.
I think HPI had comments, but they're not included. I think they got
I
emailed.
believe they did have comments, but they are here. Do you wish to speak to any comments? Or any other members of the public?
After Dr. Hansen's Marva Ellard, 1521 North Chartel Avenue. After Dr. Hansen's explanation that it's really not an in-mortar application, that I think we could call it at best semi-permanent. I mean, it could easily be taken out by a future owner. I think we're supportive. The one thing I'd say is I drove almost every street in the neighborhood the other night, and just plain concrete is probably 98% of the driveways and approaching walks in the neighborhood. I mean, we don't have a lot of fancy walk up to the front door things, but like I said, I think a future owner could change it if they want to.
I'll make a motion. I move approval of HPCA 26-00066, item number 1, with the unique circumstance that I don't think it's permanent.
Second.
Something is wrong with my computer now too, but.
Welcome to my world.
Okay. All right. Enjoy your impermanent brick trim.
I appreciate it.
Sorry, I think I made my computer cranky trying to share my screen with Patrick. All right. Yes. Next up, we have HPCA 26-00070 at 308 Northwest 18th Street in Heritage Hills.
I'm Jeff Jarrett with Tribe Solar on behalf of my client, Carl Adamson at 308 Northwest 18th Street.
Okay, do you mind stating your address?
Yeah, home or work?
I don't care.
2005 Barb Drive in Norman.
Thank you. Okay. Seems like a pretty cut and dry application. I can't imagine anybody's going to have a lot of questions, maybe some opinions.
I know the biggest question, at least on our end, was the east side, which is somewhat visible a few months of the year. And he's fine with, to withdraw that part if that helps, but I wanted to kind of see, well.
That helps tremendously, and my big question was just going to be, does that make it, does that change the energy ratio in a way that makes it not worth doing the solar if you remove
No,
that?
we have a backup plan to kind of have some ground-mounted, he has some ballasted kind of system to add to his his existing solar panels in the backyard there.
Okay. Well, that certainly addresses my biggest question and concern, but I can't speak for anybody else.
I mean, I feel like it's pretty minimally visible, personally, and we do approve minimally visible.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we have current guidelines on the solar, right? Like, on what we're defining as minimally visible or accessory structures, or, I mean, that's been kind of an ongoing conversation.
So those items that are located on the roof are specifically to be located on the rear slopes of roofs. And those become administratively approvable in those circumstances. And then those portions of the guidelines that direct us very specifically on solar panels also say on the rear slopes of roofs. So I think that you have the ability to approve something that is minimally visible from the street, but with that unique circumstance.
Which I'm comfortable with.
Walk us through with when you said you have a backup plan if the east
Yeah,
facade.
there's some kind of mounts that you can kind of set in the yard and kind of weigh down with rocks, which is not the most perfect solution, but it'll still work kind of in his little gap behind his detached garage. And because that's where he has I think 8 existing panels already kind of off of the fence. It's an interesting setup, but.
I don't know why we wouldn't push for that if the applicant's comfortable with it and it removes any visibility and it gets quite a bit closer to meeting the guidelines, but.
For the 3 panels on the east roof, you mean?
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of, I've made sure to have a couple backup plans along the way, just.
I appreciate that.
Because you never know.
I mean, I'm all for finding a great way to get stuff like this approved. I just feel like if you're so agreeable to making it less visible, I have no idea why we wouldn't pursue that route, because that's the only gripe with solar is the visibility. Like, that's the only argument against it, and so, you know,
Yeah,
from
like
this
this time,
commission, so.
I walked by it last week, couldn't see it because the trees were full bloom.
Right.
But when I first met them in March, if I squint, was it on Harvey, the street next to
Yeah,
our home,
Harvey.
I can kind of see it.
Yeah, you
through
can
the,
see it from
the,
Harvey.
the bare
I
tree.
mean, it
So
sits up pretty.
that part I understand.
We did have some comments on this one.
There was
Anybody-
one, right?
Yeah, anybody from the public wish to speak to those, or just have them in the record?
Do I need to move?
I think I've
Yeah, you can just slide over and she can.
Marva Ellard, 1521 North Chartel. I'm sure you've missed me the last few months, but I maybe don't have to come back for a few. You can see it from Harvey on that east elevation. We didn't think you could either. We walked over there the other night during the committee meeting, and not all of the east elevation on the roof, but you can see it. And even if it was just the panels on the south end of the east side, it might be workable, but believe it or not, they are visible from Harvey.
And Angela, can you verify the verbiage in the the verbiage in the packet, is that straight out of the guidelines where it says solar panels at corner and interior lots must not be visible from the public right-of-way?
That is directly from the guidelines, yes.
I think it's unfortunate because we've been working on amended guidelines to take before the public for review, specifically on solar panels. I continue to make the argument that the best way that these homes continue to contribute for another year, 100 years, is to continue to grow the sustainability of them. Energy efficiency is going to be important. And so it's unfortunate that the guidelines read how they do, and I would be hopeful that soon we can make some modifications that, because it's so minimally visible. Again, the satellite dishes were not everybody's homes 100 years ago. The Ring doorbell camera wasn't on anybody's homes 100 years ago. Nobody thinks about them twice anymore. So I think we will get to a point where solar panels are not thought about twice, and instead people are going to recognize the importance of why they are there and exist.
It used to be a lot uglier too, so I get it. I mean, panels used to be really thick, blue, like silver framing, just.
Right.
Yeah, so I understand it.
Right.
But
Well, I think
we
there's
can
some.
always add more, sorry.
I
We
think
can always
there's
add
some
more.
ugly cars that sit in people's driveways too, and they weren't there 100
I mean,
years ago,
I
so.
agree with every single thing you just said. It's just that this particular applicant is saying, hey, we have a backup plan that meets our goals and yours. And so it feels like it's actually the dream scenario. Like, they get what they're wanting for, and we're getting something you can't see from the street.
Sure, but that's not their application. This
Well,
is their
a
application.
lot of people don't get their applications approved. I mean, it's just, I
He
don't know.
emailed me like last week to withdraw the eastern part, and I was like, I think it's probably too late to send that forward, but I figured I'd bring it up here. So I know it's all, a long process and everything, so.
I agree with Cassie. I mean, we are actively working on amending the guidelines, and it's, if you had come 6 months from now with this, and we had moved those forward, it would be a no-brainer. So I just.
Right. It's a lot of ifs, though. I mean.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
It
Sure.
just is.
So, I mean, again, the guidelines state what they state, that they cannot be visible from the right-of-way, and your applicant is open to removing that portion, right, from the east facade.
Yeah, those 3 panels are easy.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to approve HPCA 26000073, that you modify the application so that the panels that are
So do I need to
visible.
kind of just refill out most of the same stuff and then kind of just, or
A big X.
what's that?
We're going to put a big X on it.
Okay, yeah, sorry, 70, yes. Yes, so work with staff to make sure they're not visible, and it should be good.
Cool.
Approving it with the condition you just.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
We're approving it on the condition that you just work it with her to make sure it's not visible.
Do I need to schedule like an appointment with you, Angela, or sorry?
No.
Okay.
Second.
If it's any consolation, anything that were to happen within the next 6 months would be within the effective period of that certificate of appropriateness, which could then be revised.
You just motivated me, Angela, so hope staff's ready.
We're going to get an email from you tomorrow scheduling our next.
Okay. That motion carries.
Thank you guys very much.
Okay, last but not least, HPCA 26-00073 at 301 Northwest 17th Street, also in Heritage Hills. Welcome, and state your name and address for the record.
Andrew Haruz, 1219 Clausen Drive.
Okay, it's a pretty cut and dry request, or at least let me rephrase that, it's pretty easy to understand. Commissioners, any commentary? Well, my commentary is it feels like a pretty reasonable request, given the dimensions of each of the bays and how the driveway is situated within the boundaries of the existing structure. They're not proposing any, additions to what's there or something they're not creating their own headache. Their headache is already there. So with the particular, grading of this house and existing conditions, it seems like a very reasonable and moderate request.
I did want to address one of the items that the neighborhood had brought up. The comment is the white addition to the west side of the garage. So if you look, it's this door. Appears unpermitted and abuts the property line, should be included in any garage CA application, though it was not added by the present owner. I didn't realize this was unpermitted. It didn't show up as being on the property line from the survey when the property was purchased, but if it's appropriate to include that, I don't know what the necessary procedure is to amend my application. I would also say that on the east side of that garage, if you want to go back one photo, forward, the east side underneath that staircase landing, it's not a permanent fixture, but there is fencing that enclosed plumbing, pool equipment. It's rotted out. We've cut that out. Was going to just go back with a fence-like structure. If that is considered something that is permanent or needs to be a part of this CA, I would ask that we amend that. If I just need to come back and do it separately, I will.
I think that's a great question for staff, since it's a kind of a process question.
I just saw this
that's not really come up
yesterday,
before.
otherwise I would have tried to get in front of it.
So if there are additional items that you'd like to address, we will do that separately from this because the public notices didn't include them.
Okay.
So staff is happy to work with you on that.
I'll do it in a separate application because it's going to hold me up, and I've got a driveway and other items that I'm probably going to be back in front of you all.
My question was, is it necessary for him to?
You don't need a separate application.
Okay.
We can do it on this same one, simply add a new line item. It's not going to hold you up on this because it's a different line item.
Okay, thank you.
So when somebody does have something unpermitted and they had nothing to do with it, the process is to bring it back and get a CA for it.
Sometimes.
You want one?
Depends on how recently it was done. If I were working with an applicant who had just taken possession of a building and something had happened immediately before then I would work with them towards getting that certificate of appropriateness in place, simply to document the historic evolution. I believe what you indicated was that you are going to be working on these features. Is that correct?
The west side, no, other than potentially painting it. The east side, yes, that was just some rotted wood. But again, it's a completely different type of structure. It's just fencing in some plumbing and pool equipment, not a permanent structure that's affixed to the garage. There's actually, if you look in the interior of the garage, there's a doorway and pass-through that allows you to access that. The other side doesn't have that at all.
I think materials, height, attachment, all of those are things that we can discuss separately to find out whether or not you actually need a CA.
Okay.
Lots of things that happen in the backyard you do not. What I can say for the south side is that we know it's been there for decades.
Definitely.
If you're going to work on it, we may need a CA. If you're not doing anything to it, we don't need to worry about it.
We're talking about this west side right here.
West side.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, the one that's under the stairs. Got it. But for this guy over here on the west side, any action needed if he makes no changes? I'm just trying to save him going through like the weird risk at which somebody like raised a flag.
I just
over it.
wanted, it was more of that it's unpermitted and the being on the boundary line, again, that's not what was found from our survey, but being that it's been brought to our attention, I want to address it however I need to.
I think that we needn't worry about it right this second because we can't do anything about it, and that I'm happy to
Okay.
work with the applicant.
Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve HPCA 26-0.
We need public comments.
Sorry. Yeah. Any members of the public wish to speak to this proposal? Okay, there being none, continue on.
Make a motion to approve HPCA 26-0073 with the specific findings and unique circumstances noted in the staff report.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Yes.
Okay, enjoy your garage improvement.
Thank you all.
See you apparently again sometime soon.
I think so.
Okay, that concludes our items for individual consideration and takes us into other business. We have two home share proposals. The first one is BOA 16303 at 701 Northwest 16th Street in Mesta Park. Yeah, come on up. Okay, would you state your name and address for the record?
I'm Lindsay Deach of 701 Northwest 16th.
Okay, thank you.
So I was going to say real quick, as you all know, applications for home sharing in HB districts require that the home share and at the time of rental that the owner is on premise. I have contacted the owner and they have verified that they understand the regulation and that they will comply with it. I've also asked them if they were undergoing any exterior modifications in order to get this house prepared for home sharing. They've indicated that they are not. They've also indicated that they know the process for any exterior changes and that they require a CA. So staff was recommending that you all make a recommendation of approval to the Board of Adjustment.
Okay, thank you for the context. Any questions for the applicant?
I just have a question about parking. So this is for the garage apartment in the back?
Correct, and there is a separate spot off-street you access through the alley that's immediately behind the unit.
There is, okay. Thank you.
Seems like they're meeting all criteria identified, so.
I will make a motion.
We need to ask.
Members of the public, anybody wish to speak? Okay, there being none.
I will make a recommendation to the Board of Adjustment for approval of the BOA 16303.
Second.
Great. Okay, that motion carries.
Thank you.
Last on the other business section, we've got BOA 16308 at 2616 North Robinson in Jefferson Park.
So unlike the last application for home sharing, this application is located in, I just lost it, Jefferson Park, so that is an HL district. So the requirement for being on premise during the time of rental is not a requirement for them. But I did talk with the owner about any exterior modifications. They have indicated that they have not made any. And they also understand that any exterior modifications in the future will require a certificate of appropriateness. So staff has recommended that you all make a recommendation of approval.
Okay, commissioners, any questions? Members of the public, any questions?
Yes. How many people are you advertising it for?
4 total.
4. Is there parking for that?
Yes.
In the driveway or in front?
Yes, off street.
Off street, okay.
I will make a motion on BOA 16308 to recommend approval to the Board of Adjustment. Specific findings.
Okay,
Second.
thank you.
I'm good. Mine's not popping up.
Love technology.
Okay, that motion has passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't think any action is needed here, but I'm on the administrative approval section. Do I need to? We have no motion, okay.
There's no motion for
Okay.
it. No.
Just checking.
It's, I think, just a report.
Okay. Katie usually goes through this section, so I'm not entirely sure what my role here is right now.
I think just ask staff if there's anything for each item.
Announce the next meeting date.
So I guess I'll just say, so as far as the administrative approvals, if you guys have any questions about those, let us know. We do not have any administrative closings, nothing from City Council, Board of Adjustment, Planning Commission, or Municipal Counselor. Or, sorry, that's you, not me.
Okay. Next meeting date will be Wednesday, September 2nd.
Are we electing a new vice chair?
I have no idea. I have received 0 communication, and I
I'm not
imagine that
going
will.
yet.
Yeah.
Well, you won't be here next month, right?
Right, so we're losing our vice chair next month.
Will you be here? Do you plan to be here?
Will I be here?
Yeah.
Yes. But,
Wait.
you know, typically that would be on today's agenda, and it's not.
Yeah, I guess there's nothing for them to sign, right? Don't you have to have a,
Right, there's nothing that we can do since it wasn't on the agenda, and we'll have to elect a new vice chair next month.
I mean, can we advocate that the mayor consider adding Patrick as an at-large member? Because we still are short 1 seat, I believe.
Katie is working with the mayor and his office right now to acquire either 1 or 2 new commissioners, and I'm not sure how she's addressing this particular.
Procedurally, is there any scenario in which, you know, I understand the ratio in Heritage Hills and architects and however they can, you know, only be 2 of each, yada, yada. Is there any scenario in which Patrick can serve until that seat is successfully filled?
I don't know.
Could we inquire? It would be so nice to have a full commission.
We will.
Can we also inquire about the weird appointments from yesterday and the terms?
Oh, the untimely appointments, like, you know, that she's,
Oh, the
Sorry,
length
I
of
thought
the
I answered you.
terms?
Yeah, about like
The
you're
length of
basically
the
being
terms?
appointed to finish out your existing term because you should have been appointed a year ago or 2 years ago.
Right, but also everyone else thought that it was 3 years, and we do have people that were reappointed for 3 years. So I think it's all very confusing, and it's gotten.
I think all the terms are 3 years, and if you were appointed to 1 more year, it means you were appointed 2 years ago. Or
But
sorry.
I
you
only
should have
started in
been-
2023, so I would have just finished my first term. So
So yours should be for 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
There's a whole tracking system involved in that, and since Katie has been involved in this, I'm sure she knows what's going on with
Okay.
it.
Great.
But with her absence today, I can't verify that for you, but yeah, we'll pursue it.
Okay.
Yeah,
She'll probably reach out to
I think we're all a little
you.
confused about how long we're meant to be up here and who's meant to be here and all of that.
Commissioner Remy offered to swap you for length if you would like.
I'll let you guys duke that out. And if anybody wants to, throw themselves up here for vice chair, it probably should not be a brand new member if we lose Patrick.
Right.
Okay. Any other, I guess that was our items from commissioners section.
Did you go through the next meeting date?
Yeah, we did.
We didn't talk about the Historic Preservation Commission meeting workshop.
No, I don't have any info on when one would be.
It says September 9th at 11:30, so I'm just curious if that's still, and it's probably a Katie question.
It's listed as 11:30 because we have to report those annually. And so it started out at 11:30 at one particular location. We have to submit a special meeting request every time you meet now until the end of the year. We'll probably correct that for 2027 if the commission is actually comfortable with the current time and location.
It's currently on the calendar for 8:30 a.m., just a heads up for
8:30.
everybody.
September 9th, 8:30 a.m.
Correct.
Okay.
And so we are having that meeting. Is that, yes, okay.
Okay.
And my other item from commissioners is just to request that the group reconvene that's examining the guidelines, and we've talked about it for almost 2 years now, and I'd like to see some actual action and public input.
Yeah, do we still need another member?
We need another member on that too, because we have not met since John left us, which means we've not met in a very long time. So we're lacking someone on that.
I think we can, it's just a not official committee, so I think we maybe wait till the rest of our team joins us, but I think right now it's Caitlin, Sarah, and myself. It was gonna be
Possibly Patrick?
Commissioner
And-
Gaines
But also
from
And I
time to time.
volunteered to join.
Yeah,
okay.
But there was a quorum issue.
Yeah, and there's no longer a quorum
That's what
issue.
it was. It was
So,
you.
Okay,
Okay.
great. So maybe we can just get some,
something
we'll
scheduled.
reach out to Katie and make sure we get the ball rolling on that.
Yeah.
Okay, any citizens to be heard? All right, there being none, we are adjourned.
Thanks.